against Mech Mage from Kolento.
Yeah, bad news from Kolento, in my opinion here. He's going first and he has the Gog Master, so that's like the best thing you can even hope for. But the matchup is not that great. We'll have to see how it plays out. How strong is his early turn, and can the Rogue clear the board early on? I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I mean, the Rogue on the coin just has such a big edge in general, but especially when they already slightly favored, getting the coin just throws it out of whack.
Yeah, the Mage has pretty good reach with the fireballs to end the game, but you have to get with your early minions, you have to get that 15 to 20 damage in with minions before you can go to the burning phase. So that's like the big thing, and like how do you get a board which the Rogue can't deal with? And RDU has a pretty good hand to deal with that stuff early on.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, as long as Violet Teacher gets tokens on the board, sure, there's a Blast Mage, but if he's been... Oh, that is a disgustingly good top deck for RDU. If the Rogue is able to deny the mechs, if they can't stick around, that Blast Mage is not going to take care of those 1/1s.
Oh yeah, it's really good strategy to early on to try keep every single mech off the board. Because I played a lot of mech match, and that happens to me way too often, where I just run out of mechs, and it's so frustrating too. Like you have those Tinkertons, you have Blast Mage, but you don't have any mechs, or the mech is too expensive, and you have to play the mech on a separate turn.
Yeah, exactly, and it ends up being... I mean, we've seen in this tournament so far a lot of turns where the mech mage just has very little value out of his plays. He gets so little done because he wants his Tinkertown to have mechs, he wants his Blast Mage to have mechs, but now that people are comfortable, or that they now understand the matchup, they're a lot more proactive about removing that early game.
Then there's the Tinkerton, no battle cry. But I do still agree with dropping it here. He has to play something, and I don't know if the Mirror Entity would really... This might not be the time for Mirror Entity just yet.
Yeah, maybe it's a bit too early, but then again, I don't think it would have been that bad since the opponent is frozen and cannot use his dagger to remove the minion he gives you.
I think it's a pretty close call between the Mirror Entity and the Tinkerton in the end.
Yeah, they both would give you on average a 3/3, but if the Rogue decides to skip the drop, you're just gonna kind of snowball out of control afterwards by playing your own Tinkertown on an empty board and Mirror Entity behind it.
Yeah, you can kind of try to like, because now you know that with Mirror Entity you would most likely get a 3/3. So by saving the Mirror Entity here and just playing your own 3/3, you can kind of go for more value with the Mirror Entity in a way.
Yeah, and RDU is now putting Kolento in a kind of awkward spot because, oh, well, never mind. I was gonna say awkward spot, but the 2-drop from the top is actually gonna help smooth out the curve after you ping the Blood Mage.
Yep, that's pretty good. Probably the best possible pickup in this situation.
Because everything else you're just throwing to the dagger, but this one, if it gets thrown, I guess you're okay with it.
So now we're gonna see the teacher come down.
RDU has a smile on his face that's indicative of I don't know what, but I don't know what he's smiling at the moment.
What's going on? What is it? I think that's fairly easy teacher, and you just kill off the thing. If he had a flurry in his hand, I would maybe consider not killing it, but here I probably would take it off.
Yeah, I'm also curious because, oh, actually he doesn't take it.
I don't think it's too bad. I would have preferred to kill it. Well, I guess it works out fine. So,
well, the thing is, like, what if he just sacrifices the Mad Scientist, then plays Lothab? He then gets the initiative. Oh, I guess well, it's not that great, but he does get the initiative because RDU is now put in a position where he can't play a minion because of the Mirror Entity, and trading away means he's essentially losing his board without having a follow-up.
Such an interesting position here, because he can't play a minion because of the Mirror Entity, and he can't play a spell because of the Lothab.
And so, the worst part is, if he does give a 3/3 with his SI7 agent, like, he can just replay Mirror Entity and curve out perfectly with Spider Tank. So I think, wow, Kolento's position is not bad.
Not bad at all. Although his hand is not that amazing, but this game is still anybody's.
Yeah. Especially if that secret is a counterspell. Instead, I've seen people play it and it's been kind of funny, but I'd like to see more counterspells. It's not very popular. No, not at all. I've heard Thais say, why would I play anything but Mirror Entity? Alright, well he does in fact play the SI7 uncomboed onto the board here.
Yeah, not very Not exactly like the thing you wanna do on turn 5, but given the circumstance, I agree completely with this line. Like I think that was the best play he could have made.
Yeah, and Kolento's ability to curve out with Mirror Entity here is actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
There's no spare part in his hand for that Archmage though.
Not yet, but he's not in any rush to play it. But knowing Kolento, I think he might just play it on turn 7 and not really care.
Just play it and pass and let the opponent deal with it.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's no easy trades on the board. Because it's pretty tough to deal 7 damage to it.
Yeah, you'd need spell power, Eviscerate with Azure Drake and Backstab. Like a lot of people tend to do, like that's generally what you're expecting to see.
I really like this play by RDU. Getting that 6 damage side and it's still sticking around.
How does the mage deal with this without a Frostbolt or like immediately available? Uh-oh. Well, he might get lucky with those hits, but the odds are not in his favor.
Not at all. It feels... It's so much better to play the Spider than a Blast Mage if the Blast Mage was lucky. But it's safer to Fireball.
Fireball's
this is
Spider
actually kind of interesting. You see, because if you feel like you're losing, you might feel more tempted to take some gambles.
Yeah, and the interesting part is if you Fireball and you Spider Tank, you still have the Mirror Entity for a second minion anyway. Because you still have that secret active, I think the Fireball Spider Tank is more justifiable.
I think so too. I think his position is actually pretty good here. So there's like no problem really. Like he doesn't need to gamble in my mind right now. Because of the mid
I agree with you.
Because those. So yeah, but I wouldn't blame him for the Spider Tank Blast Mage. If he has like really deep knowledge of this matchup and knows that he needs to get lucky. Robe is burning.
I would be surprised if he played Blast Mage. Yeah, Kolento goes for the Fireball on the 6-3 here, deciding to not tempt his luck with the potential of burst that the rogues can have nowadays. Ooh.
Well, that's a pretty good pickup.
It even prevents it, like he doesn't even have to play a spell right now. I mean, he doesn't have to play a minion, that is.
Oh, wow.
And I was gonna say, why prep since you don't necessarily guarantee a follow-up, right? Like you don't have anything to fill up the 3 mana that follows.
Yeah, I mean... Okay.
Do you sap? There's no way. There's no reason.
Yeah.
Just kill it.
I mean, I was thinking that you wanna like... At worst you can... You kill that with the weapon even if you don't pick up a spell, so then you could use the mana to
oh wow, okay.
Oh,
I'm actually really surprised by that pass.
Me too, because he doesn't have a flurry in his hand.
Yeah, that would be a very different like situation if he had a Blade Flurry, and Kolento goes for the Archmage Antonidas naked on the board.
Told you.
Oh my goodness. Alright, well you're right about his aggressiveness. He just drops it and says, if you can't deal with it, then I guess I win. There's also no spells in his hand. I don't know, I would have maybe considered taking the Blast Mage, but he's playing around Blade Flurry by not putting another 4 health minion on the board. Yeah,
I can understand that, but this play on the other hand is really weak to sap because of how much mana it's gonna cost to play it again.
If RDU top decks another Fan of Knives or a Blade Flurry here, this could be crazy. That top deck! RDU is absolutely relieved at the side of that Blade Flurry. Is this a clutch draw or is it not a clutch draw? That is a crazy card to find. Yeah. He was considering, you know, just being on the losing end of this match up until the point where he saw that come out. Wow, that was a crazy top deck for RDU.
Yeah, for sure. Oh wow, good Blast Mage. But I don't know if it's gonna be enough.
Well, there is a Deadly Poison and a Tinker, so and an Eviscerate. This is going to add up to a lot of damage very fast, but there is currently 8 damage right now on Kolento's side of the board, and a possible additional 6 in hand, so maybe RDU will have to deal with the board first.
Yeah. He can take it easy here.
Yeah.
The chances are still pretty good. He might pick up something that he can like end the game with next turn. If he can't end the game next turn, then he can play the low tap and stop his opponent from ending the game.
Yeah, and I think RDU's position here is completely dominating.
I think so though. I think at this point he has the game in the bag pretty much.
Unless things go awfully wrong on
like
RDU's side.
Boom top deck maybe from Kolento.
If Kolento top like Dr. Boom, that could actually be a big deal. Well, maybe not.
I don't know if that's
Not
it.
Sludge Belcher anymore. Never mind.
No, it's still not enough.
How much Sludge Belchers have you seen in O-Rogue?
Not that many. This is actually a bit surprising to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some people play one, like in the latest list. I've seen people try at one. Almost never two.
Yeah.
Personally, I haven't played with it lately. It's kind of a card which has...
Even deal damage to the mage at all.
I don't know.
I mean, unless there's... I can't even think of a way to just heal him to death. Oh.
This, if it's the list that Kolento was... well, I was watching like yesterday, or was 2 days ago. He was playing like double Shadow or Death and stuff, and there's nothing to Death aside from... Well, okay, Antonidas, but I don't know, like... It's such a bad card.
Yeah, and I mean, the problem isn't even the fact that you can't... Like, the thing is, you're playing Priest, and Priest is a very reactive class, but so is Freeze Mage. So when you end up with both classes, like, both decks that is, facing off against one another, if this was Death Rattle Priest, it would be a different story. But since it's Control Priest, and there's literally nothing in that deck to actually put pressure, it's a very, very tough matchup.
Yeah, there's very little, but what's exciting is the Thought Steal, because I've seen some ridiculous Thought Steals like Alexstrasza Ice Block.
You know, Alexstrasza might actually be a way to win, oddly enough. If you have a good setup, it's you put the mage on 15, and then if you've accumulated cards, you can definitely get some value out of it.
And the Ice Block can quite often also be like a win card. I've seen it so many times, like ruining the burst combo. Like when you would die, you just don't die instead, and
yeah, the
afterwards.
The OTK of mage, because what they tend to win with is just, you know, they wait forever until they have all the pieces and then they one-shot you. So if you get that ice block, you can turn the game around. Well,
the most exciting start for Kolento. What can he even do here? He can coin out the Thought Steal. There's no way he would coin out a Blade Master. That's like the only possible play.
Yeah, and there's really no point to it. If you coin out Thought Steal, it's just because you really don't need your mana in this matchup. Like, immediately. There's no point to trying to burst down the mage.
Yeah, I think you just pass and go like, oh, Kolento disagrees.
Yeah. I like the coin Thought Steal. You're trying to get options, but oh wow.
Well, that heal bot is pretty sweet, but the Ice Lance is completely useless.
RDU is falling asleep here.
That's interesting, by the way, because not everyone plays the heal bot in Freeze Mage.
I've seen very few of them, in fact. I think Mill Mage plays it pretty much as an auto-include, but Freeze Mage, not so much.
This is kind of the problem he had with the coin Thought Steal last turn, because this ruins the turn 3. There's not really anything he can play here, because if he plays the Blade Master, the sheep is just gonna attack into it.
Yeah, he would have had to keep the coin for injured Light of the Naru. Or injured Powered Shield even, whichever one you prefer.
Yeah, but now it's like, like nothing is really good.
Is he gonna sacrifice it? Wow, he is. Okay.
It's still better than hero boarding or not just passing, but it's pretty much sacrificed, like you said. Look at that hand by RDU. This actually might be this is really bad, because he has 0 cards draw right now. Like no Arcane Intellect, no Acolyte of Pain. If he keeps drawing spells and no cards draw, he's gonna be in bad shape. Yeah, there's no cards draw at all.
It's not too bad. The game is actually just starting, and the thing is, RDU might even want that Alkanite to stick around, because you can just burst your opponent down and he can't heal up.
I guess. Like spending like these turns, if it's next choice again, like not a draw. I don't know.
If there's no card
usually
drop,
wanna Blizzard just when there's only 6 power on the board. You wanna get a little bit more value from your freeze. But there's an Arcane Intellect, so that's pretty sweet.
Wow, that's a... he's just lowering the health of that Alkanite down little by little. There's really no rush, in fact, actually, at the moment.
Yeah, just setting it up for the AoEs, so the AoEs would kill that stuff.
So Kolento's going to buff his 2 minions with powered shields, putting them out of range of AoE for right now. Wait, he's just buffing the sludge?
Apparently.
So he wants to get rid of the Akanai so he's able to heal himself in case RDU goes full offensive.
I guess it makes sense. Oh, there's the Doomsayer.
It's not a bad turn to do it, I guess. I mean, if you can... You got another Nova, you have a Cone of Cold, you have a Blizzard, but when else are you going to find a Doomsayer is my question.
I feel like it's too early. Like, there's only 6 power on the board. You don't necessarily have to do it just yet.
Yeah, maybe just Nova and pass.
But he does have a lot of, a lot of freezes. He has 3 more freezes. So, I guess you might as well. But personally,
because Cone of Cold and Blizzard...
Not doing it yet.
Yeah, Cone of Cold and Blizzard together will freeze for 2 turns and deal a total of 3, which right now, because of Akanai, the Priest can't heal back up.
No.
And you're effectively negating that double powered shield.
There's actually no way to deal with this now.
Unless he wants to overextend into it.
If he had a recombobulator in his hand, then he could Madness and switch that into something else. But he doesn't.
That would be awesome, actually. That would be a nice way to counter the Doomslayer play.
Yeah, it's like one of the few ways to get value out of the Shadow Madnesses too.
I guess the Acolyte of Pain, but what does it really hit anyway?
That's true.
Yeah, but it doesn't hit anything though.
Yeah, and you can easily have like too many cards. And there's still the Cabal for the Acolyte. So. Alright, gets a draw. I would imagine that we're gonna see the Harrison.
Yeah, I think it cures well, so you might as well throw it out there and force, removal from the opponent at this point. You know he's gonna be playing the Flame Strikes eventually. Yeah. So might as well just feed that card into it before you start discarding.
It's a close call between the Belcher and Harrison. But I like the Harrison just a tiny bit more.
Well, that might be... Wait, 6, 12... No, still not the time for Alex. There's...
Definitely not. He doesn't have enough burn in his hand to follow it up.
He's missing just a little bit. Just a little bit of burn.
Are you just waiting here, picking up more burn pieces, and that has to be the right way to go. He has 3 more freezes in his hand, so he has a lot of time.
Kolento's got to feel pretty comfortable though with that Antique Heal Bot and the Light of the Naru. That's a lot of healing in one turn. And you can even go, Antique Heal Bot, Light of the Naru, and Shadow Word at the Alexstrasza once she comes down.
Yep.
So it's a lot of damage mitigation, even though you're supposed to lose afterwards.
That heal bot makes the game a lot more exciting.
For Kolento, it's gonna be a little easier because usually what happens is, even if you Holy Fire, you generally are still in OTK range, but Healbot and Light of the Naru together don't allow the opponent to do that. So that's pretty crazy combination of cards.
Holy Fire has been really getting out of favor. Like a lot of players are now playing the double Light of the Naru and get the 6 healing from those kind of to replace it. And the Light of the Naru is only 1 mana, so it's more flexible.
And you can also steal wins with that little Light Warden, as stupid as it sounds. You can just steal wins from the opponent. Oh, wow! A crazy double heal bot, and
that's incredible.
Kolento is
to throw 1 Ice Lance away.
Yeah, but he doesn't seem very... Wait, what?
His hand is full. So
I get that, but the thing is, he didn't seem happy about the Ice Lances, but I would be happy about the heal bot. I mean, I'd jump all over my chair with this.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet. I guess he was just feeling a bit chilly about that.
Ice Lance?
Yeah.
You know what would have been funny? Double Sorcerer's Apprentice, Frostbolt, Fireball, Ice Lance from RDU. Because he was already frozen, so that's an extra 5 damage.
Wow.
That would have been absolutely crazy, actually. Like an OTK.
Wait,
thanks for freezing yourself.
Just use that and go with it. Oh, that would be
You don't need the Frostbolt to that point. Alright, so... kind of a boring turn here.
Yeah.
Where's the Recombobulator? Does he even have it in this deck? I'm not...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's 2, but he's just not throwing them. I would imagine that it's like fairly similar to the list that he's been streaming. He might have split it up, like I don't have any inside information, so it's possible that it's a different list.
Yeah, different list for tournaments is pretty common, it's just...
Yeah, that's true too. Kind of can throw off your opponents a little bit. But it's like, if you have something that works and you have played for many hours, You might
Why
not care
change?
all that much about your opponent knowing a little bit, but like switching a few cards here and there, keeping the core same is pretty efficient.
So, well, there's a few ways. I like the obviously Shadow Madness with one of the 2 cards there. Actually, yeah, why not? You're gonna kill everything and get a card draw. Yeah, this is actually insane. This is the first time. This is pretty much the only time you're gonna get to use those madnesses, and you're denying your opponent the Ice Barrier number 2, if there are 2 in the deck.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Clear the whole board. No secrets, no cards for the mage.
He pings his own loot hoarder here, getting card draw as soon as possible.
Yeah.
There are 2 Ice Bears and a heal bot. Okay, that's 24 effective extra health.
Alright.
I was saying, how is the priest gonna deal damage, but he's doing a pretty good job of it. He's gone through 1 Ice Barrier, 1 heal bot, and the mage is on 21.
How much healing does Kolento have in his hand? There's
Way too
2
much.
heal bots, Light of the Naru, and the Holy Nova.
Yep.
So that's like 21? Or what is it?
He's got 16 with the heal bots. He's got another 3 from Delight, so that brings him up to 19, and then 2 from Holy Nova.
Yeah, it's 21. Not bad.
And you know, this board is pretty hard to deal with unless a Flame Strike number 2 or a Blizzard number 2 is found. There's no Doomsayer right now.
Yeah, with the Doomsayer he could like he could even like fireball the Sylvanas and just do that. Like Doomsayer fireball.
Yeah.
Or just freeze. I was a bit surprised by the Going of Gold last time. Personally, I might have considered just like dropping a barrier. I think that heals you now. Like keeps you alive. You get to save 1 more freeze.
For a turn where it's really important.
Yeah, because there was only like, how much was there? There was like a 12 power on the bottom, and with the Ice Barrier you can easily take that, so...
Yeah, and Kolento just using a Circle of Healing here very effectively just to get those, Alright, well, here comes the beatdown, or at least the attempt at beatdown from RDU. He's got to be a little worried about Sylvanas taking that minion.
Huh, actually now it's actually really valuable for him that he still has all the... There's no freeze, there's no Frost Nova, but
do you just double heal bot full health? Like you double heal bot and you trade Sylvanas into the 8/8, get yourself everything, essentially?
I think you want to maximize your hero power, so maybe like big heal but hero power. I think you max out the hero power. No matter what you do here, you should max it out. Okay. Like maybe Shadow over Death your own Sylvanas and heal bot and hero power. Okay, seems like what he's going for.
Yeah, it curves out perfectly as you mentioned, just to saturate that hero power and not waste it away.
Yeah.
Now, RDU knows that this heal bot must have come from Thoughtsteel because there's no way a priest is ever running heal bot. Almost ever.
Oh my god, I want to see RDU face when he sees the second heal, but...
Yeah, because he has to go for Archmage Frostbolt Icelands now, I think.
Yeah,
there's really nothing else. And if he's lucky, he finds an Ice Block, but...
Yeah.
I mean, if he finds Ice Block off the top, he could still win, but he needs to find it right now. That way he can Frostbolt, Fireball, Ice Block, and then get a second wave of 2 Fireballs. But...
This is ridiculous. Kolento can actually heal back to full.
Yeah. And there's nothing RDU can do about that. I mean, that's... His Alex Straza's just gone into smoke. It did nothing. And the RDU's gonna see the second heal bot and freak out.
Look at RDU.
Everybody focus on his face. Everybody focus on RDU's face right now. Wait, no. No. He has to trade a minion. He has to trade something. Oh no, he's only on 6. Never mind. Caster's bad. RDU doesn't even react? What?
Oh, that was so lame. I thought...
What a shame. This is a waste what a waste of a heal bot.
Huh. He needs to like Thoughtsteel another one. No, he can't.
What if he gotten like 2 heal bots, like an Ice Barrier and 2 heal bots? That would have been absolutely crazy. You let the opponent attack into it, or Ice Block even.
2 heal bots from Thoughtsteels.
Yeah, and
they sure helped him a lot. I don't know, like there's actually a chance that he would have won anyway. Like I feel like he has so many, because there's no second Ice Block or anything.
Yeah,
so
for a bad matchup, it worked out.
There would have been 15 damage right now. It would have been close. I actually don't know. I think even one heal bot would have been enough, but probably if he got no heal bots at all, he would have lost.
Yeah, I think the second heal bot might have been a bit overdue because he had enough of his own healing with the Light of the Naru. Still, like, if you hadn't played it earlier, you would have lost. So it's like a pick your poison situation. So we see Hunter versus Druid. There's a Wild Growth in Kolento's hand, which against a Hunter, if you don't expect face Hunter, I mean, either way, I guess you keep it. That swipe could go against face Hunter. You'd still be happy to keep swipe and Wild Growth together, just to get it on turn 3 and remove some of the early game buffer that's come down. So I do like. Oh, he actually threw the Wild Growth.
Wait, what?
And he got it back, but did he throw it or was there a glitch? I'm not sure.
It had to be a glitch. He would not throw out the Wild Growth. That's impossible.
Savich
No
is just
way.
outraged as the thought that somebody would ever consider throwing away a Wild Growth. I would agree with you though. I would tend to agree with you.
I've seen, like, if you have 2 Wild Growths in your hand, I can get behind on throwing one away. I would probably not throw even one away, but I can understand throwing one of those 2 away. But if you have just one Wild Growth, there's no way you can throw it away. Like, you should just not play the card at all if you're not gonna play it on turn.
So RDU plays his Knife Juggler into the Druid, kind of preventing his opponent from playing Wild Growth on curve, punishing him for not, coining it out. But he's still going to be able to play it on turn 3, but it's going to be a little bit on his side. It feels a bit more awkward, but since there's very little pressure coming from RDU, if this was an animal companion, things would be slightly different. But just a bow, is a lot less problematic for RDU, for Kolento.
Things would be a lot different. That's really horrible to play a bow on turn 3. Even just like a 2-drop or maybe even 1-drop and hero power is better.
And honestly, if RDU doesn't use up that bow, this is gonna be Harrison Jones, I guess. You just play your 5-drop Harrison Jones right now while you have the chance. You're not guaranteed to see another bow this game.
I don't know if he has to use it just yet. It's actually interesting.
Would you play Drake, Hero Power, Coin Zombie Chow, try to trigger the Snake Trap to get 2 cards out of the Harrison?
I would at least consider it. But he has figured it out that it's a mid-range hunter now, so I think you just play the Harrison.
Yeah, you get your card draw immediately. I mean, what are the odds of you seeing another bow right away?
That's true. It's pretty unlikely.
In this case, it's gonna be true, but I mean, most of the time, it's not actually the most likely outcome.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's good to clear it from there. But I would also like to at least consider about just trying to go for 2 charges or wait a little bit, because he did have another good play. Like, if there was no Drake in his hand, I would just insta drop the Harrison.
Yeah. He had 2 lines of play that both made a huge amount of sense this game. Now, the Druid has pretty much every answer to what's on the board, aside from the upcoming Savannah High main, but even that could get negated pretty hard, since there is an Ancient of Lore possibility. And even without Ancient of Lore, he still has an amazing board.
Wow.
Kolento checking for that Snake Trap, popping the Spider, and probably swipe, and then Innervate Shreddering.
Oh,
That's going to be my guess.
That is such a powerful play right there. He doesn't need the Innervate anymore. He can play Lore even without the Innervate next to him. This is looking like, if you Kolento right now, it's pretty good times. Like, he only has 3 cards, but those are gonna draw 5 more.
Well, these 2 high mains from RDU are gonna take a little bit of time to address, but once addressed, what does the Hunter have as backup at this point?
Yeah, the high mains are great, but the problem is that the Druid is ahead on the board. That was already, because of the Innervate, the Druid is the one who's putting the pressure, and the Hunter is the one who has to trade.
Well, now you're afraid of dying to a single Savage Roar, so you now are in the position of having to play the trading game as the aggressor, as the usual aggressor, the Hunter, so it's got to feel a little wonky.
Yeah, that really sucks. There's no options really. He knows what position he's in.
Is he gonna try to counter aggro? He's just gonna trade into the Zombie Chow to get health back, I guess, but because he can't it's not unlike Druids, he can't just find a lethal from nowhere. Druids can do that very effectively, but not so much the case. And that Keeper, oh my goodness.
How much?
This is a crazy. Oh wow. Wait, well, if we consider Druid of Claw as a 4 attack minion that it can charge with Savage Roar.
So there's like 13 or from the minions and 8 from the roar, so that's 21.
Yeah, he can just go like all out now and then swipe next turn with keeper and win.
I would imagine that it's gonna be a keeper and swipe on the damage Jaime and just go face for 9. But play it a bit safe, like clear one of the Jaimes. Or...
I mean, I already saw a
Wow.
single kill command. So by having seen one kill command on my Harrison Jones, I know that there's no way for him to deal 12 from the hand. So I guess I just go full face and
That's
I know
true,
that I
too.
win.
I don't think there's anything really.
Yeah, I like
It's 12,
Kolento's
so
ability to analyze this.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I think the result would have been the same really. Like there's no way the hunter can come back. But like you said, like what if there was
A hit bot.
Unleash? There's no Timberwolves around anywhere. There's no way there's Timberwolf. Because there was no web spinners.
Yeah, the only time where they, well, I mean, some people might play them, and I wouldn't put it past RDU to bring something like that, but you can't really afford playing around stuff like this, since it's so uncommon.
Yeah.
It would be kind of a mistake
Unleash
for him to do that.
Timberwolf and the last kill comment. Would that have been enough? It would have been close at least.
6 plus 5, 11 plus 12. He would have been 2 off anyway. Actually, no, he would have. Wait, nah, he would have been off by 1 mana to hero power and win.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Well, the hunter has lost the game. He's going to concede here, knowing he's on 1 health. There's no way he can get out of this. So Kolento's gonna take a 2-1 lead over RDU. RDU had his first win, but then Kolento went and starting to reverse sweep this. RDU can still play.
What are you supposed to do with it? But I mean,
Yeah.
it's like the only matchup where you actually throw it away. Like usually you're really, really happy that you see the mad signs. You're like, yes!
This
No
is just
secrets.
not the case, yeah.
He does throw it away.
So he knows what we know. Oh, and this is a much better hand actually.
It's really
It's
good.
got a bit better. A lot better actually.
But RDU's hand is also very good. Alright, hello.
Well, there's a bit of a, it's a bit slower, but he's got, oh wow, 2 Doomsayers. You could just throw one away right now.
Yeah, you can just throw a bit here.
Because I mean, you know your opponent Kolento is, you know, he's of the caliber where he's not gonna play a Mirror Entity unless he's completely forced to.
Look, the only way to deal with this right now is a Frostbolt, and even then it soaks 7 damage and
Exactly, and you want to
Takes
get that
one
health
card.
down as soon as possible.
rip board. So yeah.
Nice 2-for-1 here for RDU.
Yeah.
And Kolento's going to have to repopulate this board, but this, you know, turn 4 and onwards is exactly where Freeze Mage starts to shine. They can finally plan 3 turns ahead and freeze you for the entire game.
Yeah. The hand from Kolento is not bad, but just the situation is still so hopeless. I don't know. How is he supposed to punch through? Do you fireball here?
The 3-4? I guess you could, but
I feel like either that or the Frostbolt was right.
yeah, Frostbolt ping, but he wants the Frostbolt Ice Lance for later, so I can understand his reasoning.
Yeah, seems alright. And it's also like the Frostbolt is only 2 mana, so it's more flexible. You can play other stuff on the same turn. More
Oh
easy.
goodness, the Cloak Field has come up.
Oh.
If there's one way for Kolento to take this game, it's gonna be through Archmage and Cloak Field, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree. So he has 9 cards. He can do the Arcane Intellect first.
And here comes the Alright, well, it's gonna be a battle of Archmages. Oh, wait, what? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I wasn't too sure about that Doomslayer. It felt like I mean, it does soak 7. Well, you know what? It would be fine because you could then coin Flame Strike, I guess. It wouldn't even be that bad. Never mind.
I don't know. I feel
I'm
like
outraged for no
it
reason.
might not be the best thing. It's a bit weird. But it's the last Doomsayer, and you know that there might be mirror entities later. But he still has the sheep, so he might keep the sheep for the mirror entity. But you definitely keep one of those.
So you could coin Frost Nova right now, or play the sheep.
I think
Doomslayer's not an option. I don't think. I don't think it makes any sense.
I think just like Frostbolting the 4/4 or something like that would have been okay too. It might sound a bit weird, but it's just like holds the mage back for 1 more turn.
There is no ice block right now on RDU's side. He hasn't seen a single ice block. So his ability to actually survive here, if like let's assume Kolento's hand was filled with fireballs and frostbolts, this would be a pretty tough spot. Ooh, Kolento feeding into that flame strike in that blizzard.
Yeah, but he kind of had to play one more minion there. I feel like just having those two, like if he doesn't play more stuff, then RDU doesn't even need to do the AoE.
Yeah, he just pings once
he has to
and
make RDU like use something. Wow, that's such a good play.
Yeah, that blood mage is just disgustingly powerful here. It finishes off the 4-2, and he's gonna cycle a card as soon as it dies.
Allows him to keep the coin, so he didn't coin out the flames, like, because coin will be valuable later on because of the Antonidas.
And RDU getting a loot hoarder, not really a game changer, but it's an extra card draw sometime down the line. And still no Mad Scientist place on Kolento's side, knows that if he plays into a Doomsayer, things are gonna get pretty bad pretty fast. And RDU is not keeping.
I actually really like this because that gives him an opening for the following turn to get out.
I really like that.
My first instinct was to go for the flame strike, but now that he did this, I'm actually like, yeah, this is better.
Yeah, because the opponent can't do anything afterwards, and then you can just straight up coin out Alex and then set up the massive damage burst.
Absolutely.
I really like this line of play from RDU.
That's really good play from RDU too.
And he plays the loot hoarder on top because, you know, why not an extra card? But that fireball is going to force him to play a little bit more defensively for a little longer. And now Kolento feels very safe playing that Mad Scientist. He says, I've seen a sheep, I've seen 2 Doomsayers, there's no way you're playing any more of those, you know, anti-mirror entity minions.
This is interesting turn. So do you trade the loot hoarder first, then give a sheep, then maybe Acolyte? No, wait, there's no sheep. I forgot he already played it. Never mind. Okay. Wait, what?
Whoa, he's taking a risk, but they're actually going to pay off here.
Yeah.
They're going to pay off big, actually.
I don't know if you really needed to take that risk, but it's the best play here.
Yeah, by far. Considering what we see in Kolento's hand, there is no way anything else was better. But there's no lethal, right? Like, he doesn't even have lethal in hand right now.
No. I mean, but it could have been like Fireball and Frostbolt would have been a game right there.
Yep.
That's a bit risky, but yeah, it's gonna pay off big time.
And now that Ice Block is coming down like never before. Unless things change, but I mean, you just Ice Block, you play Fireball, Frostbolt for exact 9 mana, then you Pyroblast and win the game. And unless a Kazan Mystic comes out from Kolento, and even then, that wouldn't be enough. Yeah, this is probably the winning play, right? Frostbolt, Fireball, Ice Block. And then you Pyro turn 10.
Ice Block, Fireball, Frostbolt. He doesn't necessarily even need to do the Frostbolt, I guess.
Yeah, just Fireball. Thing is, if Lotheb comes out, I guess you're in a bit of an awkward spot. If you're expecting Pyro to fall down.
In that case, he could, like, maybe...
But how much do you play around Lotheb? With 1 card in your opponent's hand?
I think you should keep it in mind. Like, it's one of those few cards that can still cost you the game. Like, there's very few things you lose to anymore.
Alright, so RDU's gonna play it a bit slowly, wipes the board with Flame Strike, and finishes off the Brewmaster with Frostbolt, which... I mean, there's really no way for Kolento to deny what's coming his way at this point. He's just gonna get one-shotted by Pyroblast. So playing it very safely from RDU. I prefer his line of play like a lot compared to the one that I highlighted. It makes a lot more sense to just play defensively, since anyway you're getting the one-shot with Alex Strada.
That's true. It was really good play from RDU there. Even if the minion from the Shredder was something that wouldn't die to the Frostbolt, it would have still been frozen from it. So it was fairly safe. Like, he knew that he's gonna get a full clear with that. Really well played by RDU.
This is gonna be game. He's not even gonna show the Pyroblast. He's just gonna attack with Alexstrasza, Pink Face, and Fireball. Not even showing Pyro to Kolento, who probably has, you know, a good idea of what would have been coming. So RDU equalizes 2-2, which leaves both players with only 1 deck to go. So it's gonna be Hunter.
And you can just skip the Juggler on turn 2.
And that Clockwork Gnome is gonna say, you know what? You can't play the juggler. This is like a preemptive call. You just cannot play it at all. There's no way.
Huh. I'm already like, I'm predicting that this game is gonna come down to the juggler unleash. Like,
yeah, I've already seen it.
If there's no unleash, I can't really like imagine Kolento losing with this hand.
Yeah, me neither. It turns out too well. Turn 3 Mech Warper, Snow Chugger into Tinkertown afterwards. Everything he does. If this is a Huffer, it's gonna be devastating for RG.
Yeah, you do not want a Huffer here. Okay, Leak is fine.
Yep, it's not that Misha, but it's just as good effectively because it deals the same amount of damage to all the minions on the board. It kills them right away.
That's fair. It would have stopped some damage though if it was a Misha because of the taunt, so it would have been like slightly better. But this seems the most fair result.
Yeah, Huffer would have been completely disgustingly bad for RD. This would have been an auto loss, I think, on the back of the Huffer here, because you wasted your coin on a minion that trades with a 1-drop. I mean, there's no way you're happy about it.
No. Most of the times you want to get a Huffer, but this was not one of those times. Like this is like the worst scenario for a Huffer.
So are we gonna see Portal to online or just attack ping?
Huh.
Or not even the attack ping, you could actually just play Tinkertown instead, yeah.
Yeah, I think the Tinkertown is pretty good. I think he was traded first because if he got +1 attack, then he could have went like Mech Warper into the +1 attack.
Yeah, that's right. He would have been able to use the Inoichuan as a removal piece for Leon.
I think that's what he was trying to do there. Like the reasoning behind the sequencing.
Yeah. Alright, so he does take out the Inoichuan after all is said and done, but honestly, Kolento's side of the board is looking pretty convincing here. I mean, he can kill that Leok easily, he can develop even stronger cards. If he keeps his Mech Warper Snow Chugger combination, he can do even better later on. Like, it's just insane the amount of possibilities he's got.
It's really solid draw, but the RDU's choice is not like, well, it's not perfect, but it's not the worst one ever either. So you probably just use the bow to kill the mech, right?
I mean, what do you care about being frozen at this point? You don't have any traps to get more charges, and yeah.
I think you don't. You just kill it off because the Shredder is threatening the Tinkertown with a trade anyway.
And you're also taking out the mech for the Blast Mage as well.
And keeping the Hunter's Mark seems valuable to me in case he picks up the Unleash, so he can do like Juggler, Hunter's Mark and Unleash.
Yep, so is this gonna be a counter Shredder turn and you just put pressure to the face and you force the Hunter in a defensive position, and there's no healing in Hunter decks, so there's a critical point of health where the mage just has the spells to use to the face, and it's very, very easy for him to seal the game past that point.
Yeah, it feels like the Hunter already is so low that it's gonna be tricky. It's gonna be so tricky.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of feeling right now. I don't know that even if RDU stabilizes on board, can he really, turn the game around as far as tempo goes and just take the game from there? It's looking pretty unlikely. Or at least very difficult, honestly.
It's possible, but it's really unlikely at this point. Because like eventually he will be on a clock here, and eventually he will lose the eventually the mage will throw enough direct damage to finish him off. So he needs to be not only able to clear the board, but to turn it around and start getting damage to the mage's face before the mage kills you, and that's the trickier
part. Like, he can really almost ping you to death, yeah. Like, one fireball and a few turns of pinging will take you down.
Yep. And like, if there's the Antonidas, well, spare bots are gonna give the last fireballs.
So Kolento's considering, I'm thinking taunting up one of the minions that he's got to keep as much damage on the board. Yeah, there we go. So he does taunt up the Shredder.
So this one has to be the Unleash. Nope.
Yeah, this is not Unleash the Hounds, which is, in effect, not the card that RDU wanted to see. That Juggler is that you would think that against an aggressive deck, a Juggler would be really important, but in this case, it's too late at this point. And playing it earlier was also not an option.
No,
Kolento's start was really intense.
It was.
Doomsayer, MVP, and there is none. In fact, oh goodness, could this get bad? Mana Addict. When's the last time you saw Mana Addict?
I can't remember. I guess from a Shredder on ladder some days ago. Can't remember when it was. Every now and then.
Yeah. I just remember the old Miracle Rogue with with the Mana Addict and Collateral Calls and King Muko.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Mad Seal.
it was crazy fun. And then you would just win in one turn. It used to give +3 attack.
Wow.
Then it was nerfed because it was way too broken.
Oh,
Well, you
that's
have two options, but I think
goodbye.
Dr. Boom is a better option. So yeah, I mean, you've got 7 mana. I think you're good to go. That's pretty
Yeah,
much the
you-
only check you have to make for that one.
The boom bots are even max, so it's gonna buff the Gogmaster.
Yeah, and
Rip
RDU was hoping for that Unleash. If there were an Unleash here, this would have been a crazy turn for him. So he's still gonna try to get as many knives out with the Haunted Creeper as possible. And it might work out, but honestly, it's gonna be an uphill battle from there, even if things go his way.
Yeah, for sure.
And they didn't, honestly. Like, it hit 1 minion, and then Boombots. It's the mech that buffs the Cogmaster, so he has to play around it. Oh!
Yeah, the
knife
juggler going down.
Juggler goes down. The only board presence that he had at this point.
So,
Well, I guess you just Drake and go face.
he could like play both of the spells to push for more damage with them. With the
Actually, yeah.
mana.
Does he have 5, 6, 7? Yeah, he'd have 7 damage right now if he plays both spells. So he's gonna have to check for Explosive Trap with the Cogmaster first, on the off chance that, because he puts his opponent on lethal next turn, no matter what. If it's not Explosive Trap, then he just plays Mirror Entity, Cloak Field, hit face.
I think so. He could have put him down to 1 with that. I actually would have preferred that over it, because if the Mana Addict would have been hitting for 5 with both of the spells, and Ping would have been 6.
Yeah, he would have won on the following turn right afterwards.
Yeah, so I think that would have been slightly better, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, look at this.
Yeah, there's really no way that there's no way the Hunter can stabilize from this. He just concedes. So Kolento's gonna take the series 3-2 against RDU. Those were some really good matches. Sometimes series in this